Okay, class, this is our review for Math Test 19, which you're scheduled to take this Friday. I would like to tell you that this is your very last math test of third grade. So we're going to finish strong. This is your last test that you're going to take this school year. We're still going to do rocket math, practice our multiplication, do our rocket math timed tests, but not a lesson test over our lessons. For the month of May, we're going to be doing review. So reviewing math that we've already done and practicing our multiplication facts and our rocket math. So you, most of you still have your math books at home, and so you can continue doing supplemental practice and practice math, but I will not be giving another test. And I do want you to know that this test covers the lessons up through lesson 95. So the last few things that we've learned the last few days are not going to be on this test. So everything up to lesson 95 is on this test. So we're going to go over the newer things that will be on the test, but the things you've learned the last few days, the fractions, the number lines to tenths and 100th, those kind of things will not be included, okay? But if you have any questions, of course, talk with me and I'll make sure that you are ready before you take this test, and so that you can do your very best and show just how much you've learned this year when you go to take it. Okay, the first thing that I want to talk about is finding the age of someone if we're given the age of other people. So let's look up here in blue at number 1. Mark is 5 years older than Tom. Tom is twice as old as Trista. Trista is 4 years old. How old is Mark? So we've got some information, but we've got some problem solving to do to answer the question, because the question we need to answer is how old is Mark, okay? So we know that Mark is 5 years older than Tom. So Mark equals Tom plus 5, okay? And Tom is twice as old as Trista. So Tom equals Trista, that is hard to read, huh? Tom equals Trista's age times 2, or twice as old, okay? And then Trista is 4. So we know that Trista is 4 years. So knowing that Trista is 4 years, let's go back and figure out how old Tom is. Tom is Trista's age times 4. 4 times 2 is 8 years. So Tom is 8 years. And Mark is Tom's age plus 5. So what's 8 plus 5? 13 years. So in answer to our question, how old is Mark? Mark is 13 years. That's how you would answer it. In your box, show me all this work though. I want you to see how you figure out Trista's age, how you figured out Tom's age, and then how you came to Mark's age, okay? All right, number 2, the black one. Draw a rhombus with 4 right angles. So you could pause the camera right now, and on your dry erase board, draw me a rhombus with 4 right angles. Okay, do you remember what a rhombus is? A rhombus is a 4-sided figure where all of the sides are the same length. So if we're going to draw a 4-sided figure where all the sides are the same length and it has 4 right angles, you know what that figure is going to be? It's going to be a square. A square is a rhombus with 4 right angles. Now, if this question was different, is if it said draw me a rhombus with no right angles, then it would be a 4-sided figure where all the squares are the same length, but none of our angles are 90 degrees or a right angle. And so that rhombus is going to, let's see, gotta make them so they're kind of the same. Gonna maybe have some angles like, I'm not doing a very good job making them all the same length, but there we go. So that rhombus is gonna have parallel lines that are the same length, but none of these angles are a 90-degree angle, okay? So if it's a rhombus with no right angles, it might look something like this. If it's a rhombus with 4 right angles, it will look something like that, okay? But yeah, you remember rhombuses, parallel lines, go side by side. They may be narrow or they may be wide. They never ever cross from stop to start. And then we've got perpendicular lines that intersect like a street, making right angles, so straight and so neat. Look in the alphabet and what do you see? Perpendicular lines in H, L, and T. So you'll want to remember those as well as your shapes, rhombus, square, circle, rectangle, for your test. All right, let's look at number 3, red. There are 15 children at the park. 2/3 of those children are on the playground. How many children are on the playground? So 2/3 of 15. If I have 15 and I divide it into 3 groups, so I get my thirds, how many children in each group? 15 divided by 3 is 5. So 5 10, 15 children. That's 1, 2, 3 thirds. 1, 2, 3 thirds. 2/3 of them, 2 groups are on the playground. So 5 plus 5 equals 10. So I would say that 10 children on the playground. Now, you have to read these questions carefully because sometimes they'll do this. They'll say, there are 50 children at the park. 2/3 of them are on the playground. How many are not on the playground? And if that was the question was asking, we would say, well, if 2/3 on the playground, the number not on the playground would be 5 children, or 1/3 of the children not on the playground. So really read the questions carefully so you can make sure you're answering what they're asking. All right, number 4, the purple question down here. Shade 25% of a circle. This one, you've got to catch a couple things. You've got to catch the shape they're asking. In this case, it's a circle, but sometimes it's a rectangle or a triangle or a hexagon or an octagon. So catch the shape, and then how much? 25%. Well, you know that 25% is about 1/4 because there are 24 quarters in a dollar. So you could just do a circle, divide it into fourths, and then shade 1/4 or 25%. If it told you to draw a circle and shade 50% of it, you know that 50% is about the same as 1/2, so you would do this, right? If it told you to draw a rectangle and shade 25% of it, woo, Mrs. Coffey's really, you divide it into fourths and shade 1/4 of it. Okay, so watch the percentage, watch the shape. All right, let's go on up here to number 5. It's kind of the teal one. Estimate the product of 35 and 42. If we're going to estimate, we are going to round. So looking at 35, round to the nearest 10. So we look next door, the 5 is 5 or greater, so we're going to round this up, but 35 is going to become 40. We look at the 42, tens place, go next door. The 2, is it 5 or greater? No, so it stays the same, so that's going to be 40. So we're going to estimate the product by, we know the product, the answer to addition is a sum, the answer to subtraction is a difference, the answer to multiplication is a product, and the answer to division is a quotient. So we know that the product is multiplying. Okay, so we're going to ignore the zeros and just do 4 times 4, which we all know is 16, and then we're going to add our 2 zeros back in. So our estimate is 1,600. Let's go back and read the question and make sure we answered all of it. Estimate the product of 35 and 42. So we estimated, found a product, 1,600. There it is. Find the exact product. Oh, there's a second part. It wants us to find the exact product. So now we have to find the exact, which would be multiplying 35 by 42. Still a product, so we're still going to multiply. And here we're going to work it all out. 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 3 is 6. Plus 1 is 7. I finished my ones place, going to my 10, so I need my placeholder. 4 times 5 is 20. 4 times 3 is 12, plus 2 more is 14. Then I just add straight down. 1,470 is my actual. So 1,470 is my answer here, and 1,600 is my answer here. Okay, that's all you do for number 5. We answered both parts. All right, number 6, it costs $2.18 to mail a package. If I put 5 40-cent stamps, 5 40-cent stamps on it, how much more do I need? How much more postage? So we've got 5 40-cent stamps, so I'm going to take my 40 cents times 5, figure out how much I put on already. 5 times 0 is 0, 5 times 4 is 20. I have cents here, 1, 2, so we don't do 200 cents, right? So we would go ahead and change that to $2. So I put $2 postage on. It costs $2.18. So how much more do I need? 218 minus $2. I need 18 cents, which you can write as this way. Can you see that? You can write it as 0.18 with a dollar sign, or you can write it as 18 cents this way. But the answer would be that I need 18 cents more postage. Okay? Then my board is so full of all these problems, I'm going to erase that one so you can have a little more room to see the next one here. If I have 42,000 divided by 6, how would I solve that? Well, can I do 4 divided by 6? No, but I certainly could do 42 divided by 6. 7 times 6 is 42. I'm going to subtract, okay? 7 times 6 is 42. I'm going to subtract at 0. Is there something to bring down? Why, yes, there's a 0. What, 0 divided by 6? Oh, that's 0. Gonna line this up, put my 0 right above that one. 0 times 6 is 0, gotta subtract. 0 minus 0 is 0. Is there more to bring down? Well, yeah, I put my arrow there, so I brought down this one, but I haven't brought down that one or that one yet, so I gotta bring this one down next. 0 divided by 6, oh, that's still 0. 0 times 6 is 0. Divide, multiply, subtract. 0 minus 0 is 0. Is there more to bring down? Well, I've used those two, I haven't brought this one down, so yep, more to bring down. Now I've got 0 divided by 6, which you all know is 0. Now I multiply. 0 times 6 is 0. Now I subtract. 0 minus 0 is 0. Is there more to bring down? Well, no. I've got an arrow to each one. I brought them all down. So my answer to 42,000 divided by 6 is 7,000. All right, I know this video is getting long, but I want to do one more thing with you to make sure you've got it for the test because it is super confusing and challenging, and we haven't been together to do many of these together. So I want to talk about this one, and it could be a good thing for you to kind of practice. So let's say that we have 38 cans, and we're going to divide them evenly as possible among 7 shelves, okay? 7 shelves. So I've got 38 cans, dividing them on 7 shelves. Now, I want you to tell me how many shelves will have 5 cans. How many shelves will have 5 cans? And how many of the shelves will have 6 cans? Okay? So, confusing problem already. There's a lot of numbers. But the first thing we got to figure out, we've got 38 cans and we're dividing them evenly among 7 shelves, so we're going to go ahead and divide. Take 38 divided by 7. 3 divided by 7, can't do it. We can do 38 divided by 7. You guys know that 5 times 7 is 35. Divide, multiply, subtract. 8 minus 5 is 3. There's nothing more to bring down, so I have a remainder of 3. So I've got 7 shelves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, okay? And we've divided, and there could be 5 cans on each shelf. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. If I put 5 cans on each of my 7 shelves, I've used 35 cans. There's 3 left over. If we're gonna put those as evenly as possible among the other shelves, we're gonna put 1 on this shelf, 1 on that shelf, 1 on that shelf. So I've got my 1, 2, 3 left over, my remainder of 3 on those shelves, okay? So 5 plus 1 on this shelf means there's 6 cans on this shelf. 5 plus 1 on this shelf, 6 cans on that shelf. 6 cans on that shelf. This one just gets 5, 5, 5, and 5. How many cans do we have? Let's see. 5, 10, 15, 20. 20 cans there. 20 plus 6 is 26. 26 plus 6 more is 32. 32 plus 6 more is 38. Do we divide our 38 cans among our 7 shelves as evenly as possible? Yes. Okay, so 38 cans divided on 7 shelves. How many shelves have 5 cans? So there are 1, 2, 3, 4 shelves have 5 cans. 4 shelves with 5 cans. And how many shelves have 6 cans? 1, 2, 3. And 3 shelves have 6 cans. That is a lot to figure out, okay? But that's how you would answer that. There are 4 shelves with 5 cans and 3 shelves with 6 cans, and we checked and we used all 38. Okay? If this is fuzzy to you, we can talk about it during our weekly check-in time this Thursday, or if that's already passed or is not today, get a hold of me and we can practice a few of these together because they are a little bit challenging and you will need to know how to do this type of problem on the test. It's the exact problem is on the test, but this style and type of problem is. So I want you to know how to do this. All right, review really well and go into this test with confidence. Read the problems carefully, underline the important parts, check your answers, make sure you've got your labels, and let's finish 3rd grade math test with really, really, really strong scores because you guys have done such a good job of math this year.